celebrating in September, and it's actually a national campaign.
Yep.
Brought to you by actually FMI. Our friends at FMI have started this campaign to really help families try to eat more meals at home per week, and we know that that's difficult.
Right, but it's also really important to get families around the table more often, more times per week, because there's shown to be so many benefits for not only kids, but just families as a whole when you eat together as a family.
Yes, and we know that it's difficult. There's a lot going on. Kids have activities, parents are maybe working. We're all very busy. So really our goal at Festival as the dietitians are to really help you achieve more family meals per week.
Right.
So if you have questions throughout, or maybe things that you found that work for you, please comment. We really want this to be interactive and
Yes.
really a way to help you eat more family meals per week.
Yes.
And we'll be behind the camera shouting out some of those questions to Lauren and Brittany.
Awesome.
And we already have 20 viewers that are with us,
Awesome.
looking at our great test kitchen here in the Green Bay area. And we've got plenty of items on the countertop in front of you guys. I don't know if you want to talk about that or talk a little bit about the recipe that we're making today.
Well, we can talk about both. So we'll get started talking about the products. So as retail dietitians, grocery store dietitians, we hear all the time about the struggle to get healthy, convenient meals on the table. So these are some of our favorite products, some of our favorite tricks we use to help get meals on the table that are balanced. So of course there's boxed mixes that always helps with prep. And those are actually gluten-free pasta and gluten-free pizza crust mix. So both of those really great for those of us that need to eat gluten-free. Of course, spice blends, marinades that are pre-made, saves a little prep work of picking out all the different spices, mixing them up, measuring them out. So that's a great time saver, excuse me.
And we're actually going to be giving this box away today, so if you leave a comment and if you think of it, if you can add the hashtag Festival Family Meals, that'll help us search through them too. But you can take this home; we'll send it right to you, and it's got some of the McCormick's actual new mixes, which are really fun. There's
Lots
even
of
a
goodies in
gingerbread spice I see in there, so
Ooh.
something new for the season as well.
That's awesome. So then moving on, we've definitely got like canned tuna packets, which are great not only for lunch boxes, but also dinners. Like if you are making pasta or salads or wraps and you need just a lean protein option with those heart-healthy fats, canned tuna, a great thing to have as a staple in your pantry.
Right, and it's also very affordable, which we love too, because a lot of times we hear that eating healthy or getting family meals on the table can be expensive. But there are lots of different ways around that to help save money. Another one of those are the Knorr sides, which we love. Those are a very affordable option, a great rice side that you can easily add a lean protein to and maybe some vegetables, and you have a one-dish dinner on the table. And we actually have a great recipe using the Knorr sides right on our 20-minute meals blog. It's a quick curried chicken with rice.
Yes.
A mouthful, but it's very
really
delicious.
good, and it adds a whole new flavor to these Knorr rice sides. So
Yeah.
really yummy.
We now have over 30 people that have joined us for
Awesome.
our effort to talk family meals for Family Meals Month. A couple people that have logged in say Suzanne says she loves our recipes, and Michelle I think makes a great point when she says she's always looking for different recipes. I think it's easy for many of us to make the same thing day in and day out because we know how to do it, we know where it's at, but maybe there's a way to do variety and make it easy.
Convenience.
That's definitely our recipe today. We can actually start maybe
let's get started.
prepping that, and then we'll come back to some of our other options and keep talking about family meals.
Yes, so today we're making sweet potato chili, which you can actually find on our 20-minute meals blog. And speaking of that blog, if you're looking for new recipe ideas, we post new recipes weekly. So it's a really great place to start if you're just bored of what you've been doing and you want some new inspiration. So definitely check it out. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn on our stove, add a little oil to the stock pot, and I'm just going to go ahead and brown some ground turkey.
It's actually we're using the ground turkey and ground beef blend, which is an awesome option if you're kind of new to using more of a lean protein. It provides that really great flavor of beef, but still cuts down a lot of that fat because it uses the ground turkey too. And we promise you'll be able to fool your family. We've done it time and time again. Nobody notices that there's turkey in there, which is great.
Yes. And you could really use whatever protein you have on hand at home. So definitely don't discard this recipe if it sounds really good, but you don't have one of the ingredients, you can still make it work. We want these recipes to really work for you. So if you have ground beef at home or you have ground chicken at home, go with that. That works just as well.
So this is really just a little bit different take on traditional chili. So that's a perfect example of something that's a very traditional meal, which we have a lot of recipes too. We have a great Greek yogurt mac and cheese recipe on our 20-minute meals blog that again is a typical, traditional dish that maybe you've made time and time again, but it takes a little better for you spin on it. And then we also offer some suggestions to kind of change it up. So maybe add in some tuna or some chicken or maybe some spinach, cauliflower, broccoli, lots of different ways to just change it up a little bit, but still keeping a very traditional recipe alive.
And we just had Michelle weigh in that says that she loves sweet potatoes and a hearty chili for this increasingly cool weather that we're having. But sweet potatoes have a lot of things going for it.
Yeah, they really do. So lots of vitamins, minerals, fiber. Because they're orange, they've got those special antioxidants we love. So a lot of really great benefits. And they're so versatile too.
Yes.
We've used them in hummus, we've used them in baking, in chilies, and stews, in hashes.
Stuffed sweet potatoes are one of my go-to meals every week. What's great about sweet potatoes too when you're using them in maybe stuffed sweet potatoes is you can microwave them. So talk about not having enough time. All you have to do is prick them, put them in the microwave for 8 to 10 minutes, and they're done. So you don't have to worry about baking them in the oven for a long period of time. It's a really great solution whether you're using them in recipes or just eating them plain.
Absolutely. And that reminds me of another one of our favorite products, the Little Potato Company potatoes. You'll find those in our produce section. They're actually just little potatoes, hence the Little Potato Company. They come washed and seasoned, so you just mix them with a little bit of vegetable oil and pop them in the oven or the microwave or on the grill, so they're ready to go. So again, another really quick, convenient option for getting a balanced side dish on the table. And if you want more great product recommendations, you can check out our Dietitian's Top Pick blog at festfoods.com/blog. So lots of really great ideas there too, if you just kind of want some new inspirations.
And really, our mantra is all about convenience because we too have, we're tight on time a lot of evenings, but want to cook at home. So we're really relatable and we try to find things that most people can incorporate into their daily meals or weekly grocery list.
Right, we don't give you anything that we wouldn't do ourselves.
Obviously.
So I'm just adding some diced onion to this, and I'm just going to let it cook until it's translucent, so about 5 minutes.
And too, as Brady mentioned before, when you're looking at recipes, if there's a certain ingredient in there that maybe you're not familiar with, you don't particularly like, maybe you don't like onions, don't discount the recipe just because it has that one ingredient. Just take it out.
Yeah.
Most times it'll turn out exactly the same, just without that one ingredient that maybe you didn't care for or you weren't sure about. And don't be afraid to substitute too.
Right.
Great, and Jeff just weighed in with a great question when it comes to that ground turkey and ground beef blend. That's something that they can find in our meat department, right?
Yes, it's ground fresh every day in our meat department.
And you can just buy it by the ground beef and ground turkey. It looks more like a ground beef. It's got more of that color, but you just have to look for the name. It'll say turkey beef blend is usually what it's called.
And it's already packaged up for you.
And it usually comes in the 1 pound quantity, which is nice. That's usually what each recipe calls for, like this chili, a pound of ground beef.
Absolutely.
So while that's browning, I'm just going to come back over here and talk a little bit about some of the other options that we have as far as family meals. And when it comes to meals too, we always have that time in between meals, which is a great opportunity for snacks. So really, when it comes to snacks, our goal is to have something that has a little bit of fiber and a little bit of protein. So these are really great for kids, maybe after school. These kids' creations, they come in kid-tested flavors, like this bacon ranch, which is a great option for kids, maybe with some crackers, maybe on a piece of bread,
even with veggies.
Yes, definitely. So a nice snack that is kid-approved, which we love. And I've had them too. They're delicious.
Yes.
So not necessarily just for kids. But speaking of kids too, this is also a great option, the Musselman Squeezables. So it's kind of a fun option for applesauce, great for lunch boxes, but really easy just for the kids to grab right out of the pantry and have as a snack maybe before dinner just to hold them over.
And it's a serving of fruit.
Yes, and there's no added sugar, there's no added ingredients at all. So it's a super nutritious option. And speaking about fruit, of course, 100% juice. We wanted to talk about that as well because September is also National Fruit and Veggies More Matters Month, which essentially just means that all forms matter. So we're looking at 100% juice, dried, This is a great option too as far as the applesauce. It's not necessarily all about fresh whole fruit. It's about canned fruit and vegetables and all the different forms that it comes in.
And just fitting more in throughout your day, which is why we love this chili recipe, because it's a great way to sneak in some extra veggies, not only with our canned tomatoes, but also with our sweet potatoes and our black beans. So speaking of which, I'm actually going to get ready to add the rest of the ingredients to our chili. It's about to smell great in here. So first off, we have these no salt added diced tomatoes. Notice how I said no salt added? Yes, that is definitely an option when you get those canned foods. So just look for that on the label, just to make sure we're cutting down on sodium, because canned foods can be salty if you're not paying attention.
And now that we have more than 30 people joining us today, we can talk about the recipe that we're making and why we're making it.
Yes, so today we are making sweet potato chili with ground turkey. We're making this because it's a quick, convenient meal option, because we are celebrating National Family Meals Month.
Yes.
So just another new recipe to kind of give you another idea of a way to feed your family quickly on a weeknight.
And two, if you're just joining us, if you have questions or comments, or maybe things that have worked for you, we'd love to hear them, so please comment. And if you remember to use the hashtag Festival Family Meals, that's kind of how we're celebrating this month. So please leave some comments, questions. We're just talking about family meals and how to make more happen each week.
Absolutely.
And we're also giving away some prizes. This isn't just tips and tricks, but we've got some things to give away too.
Yeah, so there is an incentive to comment. So if you leave a comment and maybe ask a question or maybe offer some suggestions, you'll be entered to win either one of two $50 gift cards, and we're also giving away two $100 gift cards.
Yeah.
One is sponsored by Musselman's, and the other one is sponsored by Florida's Natural. And I also mentioned before, in case you're just joining us, we're also giving away this great package from McCormick. So it's got some of those pre-mixed spices to maybe help inspire you to make some different dishes for family meals, as well as some baking spices too.
Yes, lots of good stuff in there. Okay, I'm going to get back to this chili. Now I'm just adding some no salt added tomato sauce. You could definitely, and what I like to do when I'm making this at home is use low sodium spicy V8 juice, because I like that spicy hot flavor. But if you want a milder chili, this works just fine. I'm actually going to have you fill this up with water, because you need about a cup of water after this. I'm going to add in our black beans. Now you could definitely use whatever kind of beans you like. So if you're reading this recipe and you're like, oh, I don't like black beans, can I just use regular beans or no beans? Absolutely. We just happen to be big fans of black beans. We rinse them, drain them just to get rid of the sodium. But we really like the protein and fiber in there. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and add in our water. And then the star of our show, just some chopped sweet potatoes. So this is about 2 sweet potatoes that have been peeled and chopped. You could dice them, slice them, whatever's easiest for you.
And I made this recipe actually on Sunday for the Packer game, and I didn't bother to peel them because it's just more work, and I don't care to do that.
Yeah, you can eat the sweet potato skins. A lot of people don't know that.
Yes, and they're actually full of fiber and actually some more nutrients, so it also gives a little bit of punch too. But
yes,
if you're not a big fan, we did peel them today. It's an option.
So speaking of McCormick, we're actually adding a 30% less sodium chili seasoning packet to our chili. So again, looking for ways to reduce that sodium whenever possible. You could definitely make your own seasoning blend at home, and we have the recipe on our blog.
And Lori just weighed in with a great question, and one that I had too. Did we cook the sweet potatoes ahead of time? And then Lori asked, how big are the sweet potatoes cut?
You can cut the sweet potatoes as big or as small as you like. Basically whatever you think will fit on your spoon. These are a little bit bigger chunks, but it really is up to you. And we did not cook the sweet potatoes ahead of time. They're actually going to cook in here. So we're going to bring this chili to a boil and then let it simmer for about 20 minutes or until the potatoes are tender.
When I made it the other night, it was just a matter of taking this potato just to see if it's soft enough to your liking. Mine took about 25 minutes to get them to how I like them, how soft I like them.
Yes.
But the smaller that you cut them up, the faster they're going to cook. So that's something also to take into consideration based on how much time you have.
And speaking of time, another great way to do this recipe so it's convenient is to crock pot it, put it in the slow cooker. So you would just brown the turkey and onions first and then throw everything in the slow cooker for about 6 to 7 hours on low heat. And when you get back from work or whatever you're doing throughout the day, it's ready to go.
And that's also a great option too if you're going to be serving over a longer period of time. So, like for example, when I made it for the game on Sunday, I put it in a crock pot because then everybody could kind of go up and serve themselves if needed. And truly is a great option for game day and a better for you option too.
And since we were just highlighting low sodium, Michelle said it's great to see so many low sodium options
Yes.
that make food healthier. Then Mark had a question I'm sure many people want to know. Can you taste the difference using low salt tomatoes?
I can't taste the difference at all. I definitely don't miss the regular salted tomatoes. Yeah, I think there's enough flavors going on, enough big, bold flavors, especially with this seasoning packet. You don't really miss the salt at all.
And Michelle just weighed in. She said, hiding veggies is the only way to go with my kids. Even blending carrots, onions, bell peppers into stock broth adds more nutrition,
That's
and
a
they
great
never
tip.
know it.
That is a
Awesome.
really great
Thanks
tip.
for sharing that, Michelle. We found too a lot of moms and parents in general just note that smoothies are a great way to add veggies and to get kids to eat them without knowing.
Yes.
So whether that's maybe a dark leafy green like kale or spinach or even carrots, avocado is a great option to add to smoothies.
Yes.
And because of the sweetness of the fruit that you're usually using in there, they don't taste the bitterness of the veggies.
Absolutely. And that's one of our favorite things to do too here in the Festival Foods Kitchen is disguise our veggies into sweet treats. So again, on our blog, our Side Snacks and Sweets blog, you'll find things like dark chocolate zucchini bread or avocado dark chocolate pudding. So different ways to kind of sneak in those veggies where you wouldn't really think about it normally.
One of our newer recipes are the cauliflower tater tots.
Oh yes,
Those are
so good.
very kid friendly.
Mhm.
You serve them with some ketchup, and they've got cheese in there and some breadcrumbs. It's just a couple ingredients,
Yeah.
but really packed with nutrition, some extra veggies. The kids love them, and adults.
Yes, and it's that time of year with one of our favorite veggies coming into season, pumpkin. So it's a great time to use pumpkin in things like pasta sauces. We have a great recipe for that coming up on our blog. And then of course baking, even smoothies.
Yes, definitely.
And you guys did note the fact that this can be done in a crock pot,
Yes.
which I think is a huge help for many people. But we had Lori weigh in and say, can this be done in a pressure cooker? She says she's still afraid of using one, but maybe it's something that we demo, because I know that I've had one forever and don't know how to use it.
Honestly, I've never used a pressure cooker.
Yeah, it's been a long time for me. I'm definitely not an expert in that area.
But if you give it a try, let us know.
Yeah, definitely.
Great. Well, we're at right around 33 people. If you guys want to kind of go back and let everybody know what we're here doing and what we're making.
Yes, Brittany and Lauren here, two of Festival's dietitians, and we're talking about Family Meals Month, which we have been celebrating all month long. And just to kind of give you a recap of what we've been doing this month for National Family Meals Month, at Festival we have a huge commitment to help our guests create more family meals at home.
Right.
So we know that there are nights when there's no time, which is a great option for our Dine at Home deli products.
Yes.
If you haven't checked out our daily deli deals, every day of the week there is something that's on sale that day. So Monday, for example, is Amore Monday. So we've got our lasagna, which actually will be demoing in our stores across the state on Saturday.
And I'll be there, so I hope to see everyone out sampling our lasagna.
Yes, Brittany will be in the Appleton, Fox Valley market at our stores. I was in Green Bay last weekend, and then Emily was in La Crosse area 2 weekends ago. But it's just a great time. You can actually go and pick up one of these awesome Festival Foods oven mitts. So that you can take this home and raise a mitt with your family to commit to more family meals per month.
I love that.
It's a great thing and it's lots of fun. But yes, those daily deals are awesome.
Yes.
Tonight is sushi,
Yep.
Which usually happens at least
$5 sushi. Yep.
once a month in my house.
Yes.
But it's just a great option for those nights when there is no time. But there is a lot of important things just sitting down together as a family, whether the meal is really nutritious or not as nutritious.
Right. It doesn't really matter what you're eating, just as long as you're getting together as a family to connect, to communicate, and just to really catch up with each other's lives. There's been a lot of benefits shown from kids that participate in family meals on a weekly basis. So better performance in school, better social habits, better lifestyle, eating habits, just overall. And it's a great chance for parents too to serve as role models and to
Definitely.
just kind of check up on their children and just make sure, we're all doing all right.
Yeah, even just for me and my husband, just to sit down and catch up on the day.
Oh, yeah.
There's something important about that for relationships, and it's just part of our culture. We sit down and we enjoy meals together and share in conversation and build relationships. So we're all about family meals at festival. But if you have more time to cook at home, that's where we come in. We have tons of recipes on our website, on our blog, festfoods.com/blog.
Yes.
20-minute meals blog. Lots of different recipe ideas.
Yes, lots of different recipe ideas. This sweet potato chili being one of them, and they get posted, new recipes get posted every week, and we wouldn't post anything that we wouldn't try ourselves or that we don't already eat ourselves at home. So they're all dietitian tasted, tested, and approved. A lot of them kid approved too, so definitely check those out for some new ideas.
We had 2 really good questions come in. Brittany, you noted the black beans that you put into our chili recipe, and we had Heather ask about a different recipe that she found on our website that was a beef stew, but it calls for dried beans. And I'm wondering if we need to direct her to Natural and Organic if she and other guests are looking for dried beans in our store.
Yeah, for dried beans, there might be some in the soup aisle, but a really good bet would be to go to our bulk bins in our Natural and Organic department. Then you can buy the exact amount you need for your recipe, so you're not committing to a whole bag of beans.
Right.
I know sometimes I buy like bags of rice or something, and I'm stuck with it for 2 years because I never go through it. So those bulk bins in our Natural and Organic section are great help, especially if you're making meals at home and just want just the amount for your recipe.
And we had Megan weigh in with a baby-friendly recipe question. She has a 1-year-old and she's trying to expand her menu. And I'm thinking that one good option here might be the sweet potatoes we just threw into that pot there. But if you guys have other ideas.
These guys over here, avocados are what they say is baby's best first food.
Yeah, so they're very creamy. Same thing with sweet potatoes. If you they blend up really well, they get really soft. So those are both really great options. And if you can get your kids into avocados and sweet potatoes at an early age, that's awesome because they're both really great foods. Avocados are packed with heart-healthy fats. Sweet potatoes are full of antioxidants and fiber and vitamins. So yeah.
And something else too, if you try a new fruit or vegetable or just a new food in general with your kids and they don't like it at first, studies show that it takes multiple times to expose your kids to new foods in order for them to get on board. So don't give up. Keep trying, but if they dismiss it, they dismiss it, but you can always try again. And another option too is to, if your kids are a little bit older, to try to get them in the kitchen and help with some of the food prep. A lot of times they're a lot more likely to try something that they helped make. And even the smallest kids, they can help create their grocery list or get some of the groceries out for mom and dad to start cooking.
Exactly.
And as they get a little older, chopping up things maybe with parent supervision. Mixing is great.
Absolutely.
Just adding things into the bowl. All that exposure really helps.
Yes, and that kind of brings me back to just family meals around the table. So getting your kids to try new foods. Part of that is modeling healthy eating as a parent. So if your kids see you enjoying healthy foods, they're going to be more likely to try them as well and enjoy them as well.
And I was just thinking about, Lauren took over our Instagram account today. So we're on Instagram as Fest Foods and posted a photo of some Oasis hummus. I know that we had success getting a very young child to eat hummus because of the texture of it, but you can also talk about maybe the nutritional values of hummus.
Yeah, hummus is awesome. It's kind of a newer food, so if you're not familiar with hummus, it's a Mediterranean-style dip that is typically made from chickpeas and tahini, which is a fancy name for sesame seed paste, essentially. But a lot of times it packs just different flavors and spices, things like that. And you can find Oasis hummus in our frozen dairy department over kind of by the sour cream in that area. We also have a couple different varieties in our store as well. We have some in Natural Organic and then some as well in Deli, which is our Sabra hummus. But hummus is awesome with, I love it with either celery or pita bread. Baked pita bread is awesome.
Yes, and I think hummus, especially because it comes in so many flavors, it's a great way to get your kids more into veggies because veggies, let's face it, are more fun with dip. So hummus
for adults too.
Yeah, and for adults too, absolutely. So hummus is a great dip option for your veggies, especially because it's packed with protein and fiber. So it's not like a salad dressing, which would have more oil.
Yes, definitely. So hummus is great. It also, some varieties come in the small packets, which are awesome to throw into lunchboxes and bring to work for a nice snack. But you can always package it up yourself too in just some Tupperware.
Yes.
Well, we're definitely getting ideas for future videos along with our pressure cooker demo. We also have a suggestion from Jen about baby and toddler foods, which I think we just
Ooh, that's
spoke
a
off the
great
cuff
idea.
just for a few minutes. So I think there's probably a lot you can do without really thinking, too much about it.
Yes, that's really our goal, is really simple meals and recipes, because it doesn't have to be overly complicated. And I think
No.
sometimes that's a misconception about either cooking at home or making meals for your family, is that it doesn't have to be complicated. I mean, there's nothing wrong with maybe some baked chicken, some rice, and some vegetables.
Yeah.
That is a great balanced meal, and just because it isn't some fancy recipe doesn't mean that it's not a great family meal.
Right, and that brings me back to our dine at home deli. We just got in some new pizzas and flatbreads.
Yeah.
And while they themselves might not be the most nutritious, you can load them up with veggies or whatever toppings you enjoy to really customize it for you, family.
And
Well,
it's a great solution.
And to use the seasons too. I mean, we're coming into the harvest season and apples are everywhere. And that's, I would think, a really good option for a whole variety of people.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. So kind of a trick that most people don't think of when they're planning meals is to plan it around the vegetables that are in season. So maybe starting with that. And you can check out which vegetables are in season on our website with the Peak This Week feature. Find out which vegetables are peaking, which ones are kind of more hard to get this time of year. So it's a great way to focus more on fruits and veggies and really build your meal around that.
And oftentimes, too, the fruits and veggies that are in harvest right now are also going to be less expensive.
Yes.
So it's a great way, too, to use that weekly ad, whether you're accessing it on our website or in the store or the newspaper. Use that ad to help plan your meals. That's usually what I do on Sundays. I sit down, I look at the ad, I
Yes.
talk to my husband about what we have going on this week, what nights are we going to be home,
Yeah.
and really just sit down and plan before I go to the store, because more often than not when I go to the store without planning,
Yes.
you grab a couple random things, but it doesn't really make a meal,
Let's-
and you end up going
yeah.
out. Or
Let's talk a little bit about that, about how do we plan a meal, because I think that's tricky for a lot of people.
Yes.
So what are kind of the steps that you go through?
So definitely getting the family together, I think, is huge. Just communicating and maybe, planning a themed night. So,
Yeah.
For example, we always do pizza on Friday.
Yep.
It's just our thing, and we always know that Friday is pizza night.
Yep.
And you can do that with your kids, whether that's for breakfast. Maybe you always say, Monday is smoothie day. Or maybe, Wednesday night, we always do pasta or
Yep.
tacos for Tuesday. Things like that. That also helps plan things, because then you always have that set day of the week where you know what it's going to be. And everybody
Right.
knows what it's going to be.
Right. And I think the next thing you would do is then kind of shop your kitchen. See what you
Yes.
have on hand already that you can build meals from. And then from there, look up some recipes, or try out some of your own favorite recipes that involve those ingredients. And like we said earlier, for those of you that are just tuning in, if you find a recipe that you really like, but say it has shallots in it and there's no way you know what to do with a shallot, just omit it. So don't discount an entire recipe just because of one ingredient. Or if you don't really want to buy a whole thing of fresh herbs because you know you're not going to use more than what's needed for that recipe, don't use them. So there's definitely a lot to be said for just finding new recipes and just trying them and making them work for you.
Yes, and maybe even just making it a goal to maybe try one new fruit or veggie each week, and see, maybe have kind of a tasting with your
Or a
family
new
to see.
cuisine.
Yeah, there you go. And get everybody's feedback and kind of make it a family activity. There's so much we can bond with over food.
Yeah.
And so much conversation that just stems from food.
Yes.
So just making it a big family activity and getting the kids involved in the cooking and the meal planning. And the shopping too. And I know for you parents out there that maybe have littler kids that you don't want to take shopping through the aisles, don't forget we have the Tot Spot,
Oh yeah.
which is a great option to bring your kids to where they can play in a safe environment while you're doing your shopping and focusing in the store to create those family meals at home.
And one of our guests mentioned previously that this goes along with what you're saying, Lauren, getting them involved in the cooking process may make them feel, because I made it, I'm going to eat it, no, even if it doesn't taste that great. And I
That's
don't.
exactly right.
That's true for adults. I'm totally like that too.
Yes.
We'll go down with the ship before we say that we didn't do a good job.
Yes, absolutely. I know when my little brother was little, he would make hot dog quesadillas, and he was so proud. Of course, it doesn't sound like the most appetizing thing to us,
But he made it.
But if you make it, you're more likely to eat it. So that's
Yeah.
awesome.
And we had another question, since Lauren, you were talking about maybe cooking for a smaller family. Kelly was asking about, can you just cut recipes in half? Like, how do you go about cooking meals for smaller families?
What we do is we make one night a week leftover night. Because we typically do just, sometimes it's easier just to buy the box of pasta and, use either the whole box, or if you buy a pound of meat, just use the whole pound.
Right.
And then we take leftovers for lunch, or just have one night a week where we don't cook, which is great. That's a time saver, so we usually pick the busiest night for that, and then heat up leftovers. So we have leftover mac and cheese from one night, and then we have leftover chili too. That will be leftover night tomorrow.
And for times when you do have leftovers and maybe it doesn't all even out like you wanted it to, maybe you have more chicken left over than you have a side dish left over, that's where some of the products we recommend on our Top Pick blog really come into play. So things like Steam Fresh brown rice, whole grain brown rice. They also have pasta and veggie sides that you just pop in the microwave for a few minutes, and boom, you have a side dish ready to go. So again, really easy way to build a meal based on one ingredient.
And don't forget to freeze things too.
Yes.
So maybe if it's something you can't eat this week, things like chili and a lot of the saucier dishes and casseroles freeze wonderfully because they have some of that water in there. So don't be afraid to freeze it.
Yeah, great point. Keep the questions coming, everybody. So we're talking about Family Meals Month. We're talking about healthy, convenient recipes, ways to get your family around the table. We're talking about some of our favorite products, some of our favorite dietitian tasted, tested, and approved products. So we want to hear your questions. We want to hear your feedback and what you do to keep your families around the table.
Yes, and we're making a sweet potato chili recipe that looks like it's really getting there.
Yeah.
And what we would do when serving up this recipe, what I like to do, and Brittany as well, top it with some plain non-fat Greek yogurt. That is an awesome substitute for sour cream. If you haven't tried it, we encourage you to just grab one of these little ones. They're usually on sale for around $1. So in case you don't like it, you didn't break the bank on something you didn't like necessarily.
Right.
But it's a great option just to give it a try. This is also great to use for dips.
Yes.
You can use it in smoothies if you're going to sweeten it up with some yogurt, but it does provide that nice tangy flavor.
Yes. So the benefit of using Greek yogurt over sour cream is it's the non-fat variety has obviously no fat and a lot of protein there. So it's a really great trade.
Yes.
Also, things like guacamole or avocado slices would be great to add on top of this chili. Shredded cheese, of course, another great option. Oyster crackers, whatever. That's the great thing about one-pot dishes like this. Even though it's a one-pot dish, there's still ways to customize it so everyone in the family gets what they want.
Yes, and it's kind of like what we talked about before as far as making themed nights. So maybe you have one night a week that's your chili night, and you kind of set up a chili bar, and everybody gets to add in their own.
I like that idea.
And customize it. Which again, getting the kids involved in that, where they get to customize their own bowl of chili, or maybe their own pizza or something like that. That's going to encourage them to actually eat it.
Yes, and you brought up stuffed sweet potatoes earlier, and I think that'd be a great opportunity to have one of those bar type nights at home, and also get your kids more excited about eating sweet potatoes. It's a veggie, and you can customize it to make it your own. So that's really fun.
Yes.
Well, and since we're talking about one big pot of chili that we're making here, Michelle makes a great point and says you can also freeze soups and chilies in individual portions.
Yeah.
And instead of putting something into one huge container, and I know I fall into that, and I'm sure many other families do too, where you just throw something and then you have to thaw the entire thing out.
That's also kind of a food safety point too. Things will freeze faster and cool down faster if it's in a smaller container. So yeah, definitely save yourself the time ahead of time and portion things out. That's a great thing to do too if you get like a frozen bag of chicken or even just fresh chicken. Divide it up once you get home into portion sizes into Ziploc bags, and then stick it in the freezer so it's ready to go.
That's good for fruit and veggies as well.
Yep.
If you're planning to bring them for lunch or pack them in lunch boxes for your kids, put them in the baggie. So all you have to do is grab that baggie. It's already pre-portioned out the day that you bring it home, and put it right in the lunch box. And it also encourages kids too. They can just go to the fridge and grab that baggie maybe for a snack, or pairing with a dip or with hummus or peanut butter or something like that as a great snack.
Since we were just talking about substitutes, Melissa has a really good question about ideas on omitting onions. She has a kid who hates onions, even the smell of them. Any onion replacement options for her?
Yeah, just any other aromatic type vegetable or seasoning. So garlic would be another good one. Shallots. Or you could just omit them altogether. There's still a lot of flavor going on with this chili.
Yeah, definitely. Onions are not necessarily a must.
No.
And Sarah was looking for some low-carb dinner recipes or low-carb options. Didn't know if you guys had a few favorites off the top of your head.
Low carb.
Well, this
You
would
know,
be
actually,
low carb.
yeah, this is actually really low carb. The only carbohydrates in here would be the tomatoes and the sweet potatoes, which are full of those fibers, so good complex carbohydrates. I also thought of like zucchini noodles. Like, I know spiralizing vegetables is really trendy right now, and for good reason. So instead of having a flour pasta, you're having a veggie-based pasta, which does cut down a lot on the carbohydrates.
And we just did a zucchini boat recipe on the
Yes.
blog
Wait,
as
you
well.
talk about that one.
Yeah, so for lasagna, a great option instead of boiling noodles, which also takes a lot of time and it can be really messy, just making zucchini boats. So you take the zucchini, you cut it in half, and just kind of like a pumpkin, you just kind of use a spoon and dish out all those seeds in there. So you kind of have a boat. Then you can stuff it with some ricotta cheese and maybe some ground meat, as well as some pasta sauce. Pop it in the oven, and you have lasagna that is a lot faster and better for you and very low carb.
Yes. Great point.
And also this time of year too, another great option for those veggie noodles would be the spaghetti squash.
Spaghetti squash, yes.
Which is really fun. We have a video on our website where you can learn how to make spaghetti squash, which is fun to do, whether you're just adding a little pasta sauce on top.
It's super easy, super simple. And squash look intimidating.
Because it looks so weird.
They do look weird, and you're like, how do I cut into this? But they're so easy. You just pop them in the oven with a little olive oil, salt and pepper, cut them open, and with the spaghetti squash, when you scrape the inside with a fork, it looks just like spaghetti, so you're good to go.
And that one can, like sweet potatoes, can also be microwaved, which
Yep.
is a faster option, but a nice option if you're looking for something really quick.
You know what we need to talk about, speaking of microwaves? Our Suddenly Seafood bags in our meat department. So they're actually these microwavable bags, and they sell the bags individually, but we also sell them stuffed with salmon, shrimp, tilapia, tuna, they're already seasoned. I think we even have ones that have chicken breast in them
I've
too.
used those before.
And you just pop them in the microwave for the time that's stated on the bag, and you get it perfectly cooked. So I know that sounds weird, cooking meat in the microwave, because usually we warm up our leftovers in the microwave, they come out tough. No, not with these bags. They come out perfectly tender, moist, perfectly cooked. So great time saver, and they're pre-portioned. So if you're by yourself or just only need to serve a couple people, really great option.
Yes,
And
definitely.
since we were just talking about pizza night, Callie reminded us that it's as easy as getting the dough from our bakery.
Oh
Yep. We have lots of recipes with that. Cindy was just talking to us at her office about she loves the grape pesto pizza.
Oh yes. So we have a red grape chicken and pesto pizza on our blog, and it uses that wheat pizza dough from our bakery. So you just roll that out, super easy because it's already mixed up for you. So all you have to do is roll it out.
Fun for the kids too to get involved in that. You can make
Yes.
shapes and even individual pizzas, which is
Yep.
fun.
Absolutely. And then the sauce is a pesto sauce. You top it with some grilled chicken or roasted chicken, whatever kind of cooked chicken you prefer. And then grapes. So I know that sounds weird that grapes are on a pizza, but they actually taste really good once they're cooked. So
Definitely
encourage
a
you to try
kid-friendly
it.
option because of
Yes.
the sweetness of the grapes, and it's delicious.
And it tastes gourmet too. I love that pizza. I can't wait to make it again.
And if you're looking for more pizza inspirations, we love pizza, so we have lots of pizza recipes on
Yes.
our 20-minute meals blog.
Absolutely.
Well, I think we've talked a lot about family meals. We've talked about snack options, things to make family meals easier. But if you're looking for more information about how we're celebrating family meals this month, or you're looking to get more involved or try to make more family meals at home, just visit our blog, festfoods.com/blog. We've got lots of recipes, lots of information there.
Product ideas.
And don't forget too, this Saturday between 10 and 2, you can head to your local Festival of Foods, pick up one of these great oven mitts, and also sample one of our daily deli deals, the lasagna. And then next Tuesday, we're going to be hosting a Twitter chat. So from 7 to 8 p.m., you can hop on your Twitter, use the hashtag FestivalFamilyMeals. We're going to be giving away some great prizes, lots of gift cards, as well as a cooking class right here in the Festival Foods kitchen.
Yeah.
And while we had upwards of 40-some people view, for those who jump on after the fact, they'll be still eligible for some prizes.
Yes, please comment. Let us know after you watch the video if you have any ideas, any further questions that we can help answer. We want to make this a community effort, so if you can share some things that have worked for your family, we'd love to hear it. So please comment and you'll be eligible for some of those great prizes.
Thanks
Thanks everybody. See ya.